Yeah, you can start.
Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm the first speaker of the proposition team. My name is Dasha, and I would like to introduce my teammates. The second speaker, Elizabeth, and the third speaker, Bogdan. Okay, today we are debating the resolution that local communities should be able to solve all current problems on its own. So let me give you the definitions. Local community, a human union due to their religious, cultural, national, and territorial principles. To solve its current problems on its own, the questions of socio-economic, administrative, political, religious, and cultural aspects. We are gathered here to discuss the burning issue. So our team has no doubt that this topic is really challenging. And so why? Because due to our up-to-date world conditions of the globalization, it is really necessary to highlight the problem of ethnic minorities and religious associations. Even till nowadays, some of them have no great power statehood. Despite of living in ethnic territories or being in different parts of the planet, this set of people should have rights for self-determination. So the ethnic question is directly connected with self-determination. It is the right of each ethnic group to take some benefits from its prosperity. And it isn't a secret that nowadays millions of people rent all their ethnic homeland and they live in different parts of our planet. And discrimination against them at the domestic level can cause insecurity among society. And in our opinion, it's a really great problem. So let's come up to our arguments. Our first argument is religion. Our second argument is tradition and culture, and our third argument is problems of their assimilation and mentality. So, the first, which our team would like to discuss, is religion. Our team strictly supports the fact that the problems of the various religious groups are not available in multinational countries. So, there are different kinds of religions, and every kind of this religion has its own canons, its own rules, its own laws, and that's why it is a really big disadvantage in all law books in different countries, not only in Ukraine, but it's really worldwide problem. You won't find a law about people who consider to be a part of some kind of religion to go to leave the work and celebrate its own holiday, or to leave work to attend the service. So, and for religious persons, it's really important. So, for this reason, our team insists that local communities must be entitled to solve the problems of its own existence, problems of religious questions, because in our opinion, belief is one of the main things, the most important things that a person has. Our second argument, but not less, is traditional and culture. So the global culture and traditions of all people are available richness and mankind. And our team doesn't consider that miracles of culture is only subjects like paintings and something like this. So we think that it is also skills. I don't know, for example, science, education, etc. And the culture of all countries of any level have the right for the safety. It is the law of local organizations and higher establishments such as UNESCO. In some other words, if you try to stop the development of culture of other ethnic group, you will be sentenced to sit in prison. For example, in 20 years, a lot of people from Ukraine, Russia, and etc. Were thrown away to Siberia, and they decided and they had the wish to make their culture better, so to develop and improve their culture. And unfortunately, they were killed because, yes, please.
I have a question. So you said usually people unite local communities only because on the examples of their traditions, religious, etc. For example, in our culture, local communities and local authorities is the same thing, right? So is local community can also influence politics. So are there any unions of political unions in our country, and how do you think, does it connect to this thing?
Okay, I can explain this question. I can say that local communities, local authority only on the basement of Ukrainian establishment, so Ukrainian constitution. We don't make our field of debating so narrow, and we discuss the global problem. That's why local community, and I gave you the definitions from Macmillan Dictionary, and from other dictionary you will find the same meaning. Local community, local community is human union due to their religious, cultural, national, and territorial principles, so they don't relate to the government. Anyway, I will give you another example about Ukrainian of Dnipropetrovsk, Ukraine. They faced with a big amount of problems when they went to Far East. They tried to improve their culture, but the country didn't provide them with the conditions to improve and develop their traditions. That's why their skills died.
Question.
Yes.
What exact culture or idea they were trying to improve?
Their own, the culture that they were in Ukraine, they had in Ukraine. So they were trying to develop it there because they didn't want to lose it. That's why our team supports the idea that local communities have to handle all problems for their existence. Otherwise, it threatens with crisis in their culture, religion, and tradition. And moreover, it may cause the vanishing of it. So, thank you for your attention.
Okay, the first speaker of my team, my name is Sava. It's the second speaker, Fedor and Sonia. Our team is called Generation Next, and so let's start. Yes, we had a question definitions because we prepared a more narrow theme. We suppose that we will talk about the welfare to the society of exactly Ukraine. But we understand that you want to broaden the theme, and we will try to play in your field. But I will also tell you about our arguments in protection of Ukraine after I will try to counter your arguments. So, yes, your arguments were really great, and I understand why you gave us arguments of religion, tradition, and culture in different parts. I understand why. So, religious people must, and their groups, must choose the matters of their existence on their own. And I think that it's really hard to talk about this question, mainly because what is these questions? What are these questions? I mean that people of same religion, for example, in Kryvyi Rog, we have different religions, right? We have different establishments of people with different religions, right? Right. We have Christian organization, Muslim organizations, and others. Yes, that's true. But what questions must they decide? Where to build their castles, or where to improve themselves? Yes, that's right. And they still can do this. Why? Because they finance them with their own money. All local communities for now and in every part of the world are not financed by the government except religion. Right, that's true. For example, when we speak about Rome, yes? Yes, that's true. But if we speak about Ukraine, they just pay money for themselves. So, are we sure that religious people are ready to rule the governmental money, to try to know where to use it? Do they know where to use it? Do they have knowledge to do that? Personally, me and my team think that local communities, yes, they may have decisions, but we still think that they must be researched by the government in any country. We just can't decide with the local community of our religions, for example, in Far East, like you said, yes? Yes, we want to protect our religion, that's great, but I still think that it's important to do that in the government, right? Right, and I think that protection of local communities in all parts of the world is really important, but nevertheless, when you travel to another country with another religion, you must understand that it's another country with another religion, and you won't have the same rights as other people. And it's a stated fact. Yes, we have some examples of religious indifference. For example, Je suis Charlie. We had it's a really bright example of conflict of religions, and I really think that that's when local communities, of course.
Don't you think that this conflict was caused of lack of self-determination, like an opportunity to self-determine the religion of Muslims, and incorrect behavior?
I understand your question. Yes, you're right, but as you know, we're all different, and we can't know about every kind of person of every religion, but we know that why it happened in its root, because of conflict of religion in that country, right? So, we have an example where a local community of a certain country have too much rights. They just live there with the same rights as the people of French people. And we are sure that it mustn't be so. We see what happened. So, and now, I think that I told everything about your arguments, but I want to try to narrow them about Ukraine because I think that it's really important for now, for us. So, the first thing about local communities in Ukraine, it's right, you said it's right. Only because of the constitution in Ukraine, local authorities and local communities is the same thing, yes, it's right. But in in Ukraine, so, local communities have much more broader functions, may have much more broader functions, because people can unite not only because of tradition and religion, they can unite even because of political views, economical views, just views on education. In our city, in our Dnipro-Dzerzhinsky район of Kryvyi Rog, we have more than 9 local communities, or local authorities, it doesn't matter, and 2 of them are educational ones, but they have no rights in our country. So we think that we must improve their functions, broaden their functions. We must give them even money. We are sure that we must enrich them with a part of governmental money. Yes, that's true. But there is a great question appears. Yes, it's true. It's a guarantee of democracy. We must do that. But local communities will influence the government, and the government will lose its importance. Yes, we must give them more functions because of laws of Ukraine and of Europe, but we don't really think that it will be beneficial for our country because government will lose its importance, firstly. Secondly, people are influenced. People from all of the country are influenced by some kinds of advertising. Newspapers and channels. Unfortunately, in our country, most newspapers and channels are newspapers and channels of politicians. So that's why we are sure that giving more opportunities to people who are influenced by these politicians is not right. Also, after that, I'd like to mention that people are not ready. People. Okay.
Do you think that people who strongly support the idea of their religion, strongly follow it, will be influenced by mass media?
It depends. It depends. Firstly, how mass media can influence religious people. We don't speak about religion now. Now I'm not speaking about religion. Yes, you're right, but I don't know any examples of when people decline Christianity only because they were told in mass media. That's right, but when we speak about politics, economics, and other parts of our life, in Ukraine, especially in Ukraine, because now it's really important. They have influence on people, I mean politics. So, the most important and the last fact is that Ukraine is a unitary country, right? Right. And so all of our budget collected in the one city and then divided into all other regions. Yes, but if we have more improved local communities in our country, so the budgets will increase. For example, the unprofitability of Romansky region is 887 million. It will be even bigger if we give money to local communities. So we must think about improvement of local communities in our country. But when we speak about other countries, it's not only religion and traditions. We saw Charlie, and we must think about giving them more functions. Thank you for your attention.
What is given to the second speaker from the proposition?
Okay, yes. Good afternoon. I'm the second speaker of the proposition team, Elizabeth, and I would like to keep on supporting the resolution after the debating. Local communities should be able to solve its current problems on its own. Accordingly, they should be vested with authority because they have an incredible reasons for it, and also because it will help us to avoid a lot of conflicts. Okay, as my teammate has already mentioned, our argument was that culture and traditions are unique for each nation. Yeah, that's true. Every world culture and traditions is a priceless treasure of everyone, and we have to do our best to keep it in safe. So that is why local communities, which are based on traditions, religions, and ethnic features, should be given ability to solve its current problems. Sorry. Let's recollect in our mind the Kievan Rus. Remember Vladimir Veliki and his reformation. He made centralization of a government. That is why a lot of tribes was phased out of separation. Okay, probably it was not. It was good for the whole government, but at the same time we have lost a lot of skills, a lot of features of the tribes, like the Rulians and others. Right now, archaeologists and a lot of scientists can't understand how they made a lot of jewelry, so their skills are lost forever, unfortunately. But it was our treasure, priceless treasure. The next argument was about religion. Please.
I have one question. So, how do you think if we give more rights to a minor religion, won't it conflict with the major religion of the country? Won't it conflict with the major religion of the country?
Okay, I'll back to your remark and to your question a bit later when I'll explain our argument about religion. So, religion is a basement of personality. It really influenced its development, its individuality. For people, it's a very important topic. A great example is Jewish people and Muslims. They have different religion holidays, but if they live in one country, for example, let's be Ukraine or Poland, things like that, they do have other countries' holidays. Why do they have a rest on Easter when they do not connect with this holiday, but do have to work on other holidays when, according to the Torah, they have to have a rest? Yeah, that's the question. Answering your remark and question, I would like to say that we are not talking about autonomy or separation. We are talking about living in the incompatible country, following its main laws, but with an ability to solve our problems in way, of course, of legislative power of the whole country. And the third one, argument of our team was about problems of assimilation and mentality. Mentality of different ethnic groups are different. We won't let a cat out of the bag. We will say that Germans are fun, to Ukrainians hospitable, Chinese hardworking. Everyone has their own features which they want to self-determine and develop. This is why they really have a reason to get an ability to solve its current problem. Talking about your arguments, yeah, I would like to do the analysis right now. You was talking about an importance of local government, local communities which are based on political institutions. Yeah, that was very good. But right now, the problem of the total globalization is much more important, because when mankind didn't know about the definite structure of the country, the ethnic problem was invented. That's why it went through the thousands of years, and it still exists. So we do have to keep in mind and try to solve it. Also, first speaker had a little bit controversial points of views because he said that we must give an ability to people, to local communities, to solve their own problems. Yeah, that was put into politics, but at the same time, don't religious people are a part of a big society. Don't are the part of local communities according to their topic. They do, and they said that we have to make their ability to solve their problem wider. Didn't they support our opinion? And so, also, it was important that they gave us an example of people who come to another country with different religion, and they won't be equal. But guys, we're talking about right now democratic society where everyone should be equal, without caring of his religion and so on and so forth. We're just talking about self-determination and just ways how to do it and ability to do it. We don't know about, we don't talking about, about separation or autonomy. No, we're just talking about a right to self-determine themselves according to their religion and culture, because these problems are crying right now. It's very important. To sum up, I would like to say that local communities which are based on religious culture and traditions can solve their problem. They want to do it, but they didn't have an ability. They didn't have a right from the government. Talking about financial problem, which also was touched was mentioned in our opening speech, I would like to say that it's not true. Religious communities have a support. They have support of different international organizations. The best example is JOIN. JOIN is a Jewish organization, which give money to Jewish people, to Jewish local communities, religions, synagogues, to improve their religion, to improve their culture. But unfortunately, they can't do it very successful because they do not have such wide ability to self-determine in one country. Okay, to sum up my whole speech, I would like to say that in the conditions of globalization, a question about self-determination of local communities based on religion, tradition, and culture is still important through thousands of years. This is why right now we have to give an ability to local communities to solve its current problem, to avoid a lot of conflicts, and because they really do have reasons for it. Thank you.
So, good afternoon, dear judges and opponents. My name is Fedor. I'm the second speaker of an opposition team. So, as our opponent said, now we will talk about the democracy. Yeah. So, if in the country will be two or more huge religion organizations, so what would be there? For example, in some religions, they can't just admit other. They can't just live with other religions in the same country. They'll begin a war, and it will be the federalization maybe in the country or centralization, and it will excuse a lot of problems. And so I don't understand why the democracy is the only one point, because it's not important. Religion is higher than democracy. Religion don't look at any different points in the constitution or so. I don't understand why it is so. This no idea. And so, and back to our definition. In our definition, okay, yes.
You said that existence of religious organization it probably may be a cause of a war. But even right now we have a religious organization, but we don't have a war according to this question.
Okay, so we speak now about religion here, but we have in our country one main religion. So this is like Protestant religion. So, but if we have another one, Muslim, for example, religion, which is one of the main religions, there will be conflict between them. And as we know, Muslims is not the people who will just sit and discuss their problems. Sometimes they can interact and they can begin war. So, what a problem? And if we get back to our definition of the local communities is that these communities are like a group of people which can is formed by the people of the city or other regions, and they can decide the problems in their city or in their area. So if we look at it, so we can't give people so much power, because if they will have influence or even rule the government, it will cause a lot of disease, because nowadays there are not a lot of people who are very experienced and gain enough knowledge, and they don't know enough about, for example, judicial rights or economics, and we can't give them so much power to decide what should be done, because every little mistake will cause a lot of disease. So
So do you think that religious people are non-educated people?
no, I now speak not about religious people. I speak about the people who form the group of society. This you, me, or the people who want, and they can just decide what can happen or how to rule in their area. So let's get down to business. Nowadays, people are not interested a lot in religion. We can't say that many people nowadays are going to the church. Yeah, there are a big amount of them, but I can't say, I don't see, and the statistics said that there are not so much people who are religion, and these people are often not enough educated, because not all the economician in this sphere. Okay.
Please comment on the fact that 90% of people of Ukraine are religious. You said that it's a little amount. Just comment.
Okay, yes, 90% of people are religious, but they are religious from their birth, because they don't go to the church. They go to the church only on the Easter. For example, in our city, as we made a research, there are only 20 or 30% of people who go to the church every Sunday or Saturday. So when they go there, when they go there usually. So this is a big amount for such huge amount of people in the whole country, for example. So, and before giving the local community right to set everything, the country has to change their constitution and law background, because without that, the local communities won't do anything, and I think that this is point of view won't give them any power. and the government will be right if it would be so. And so local communities have no financial background and no rights for the land, but as you said, they have some financial add-ins or some sponsors. Yeah. Okay. Okay, they have sponsors, but I don't think that also the government should employ them some money. So this is not right. So this is why I think the position of our opponent is weak. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bogdan and I'm the third speaker of proposition team. Our team keeps on supporting the resolution that local communities should be able to solve their current problems of existence. I will provide you with proven and arguments, but a little bit later. First of all, we would like to rebuttal some our opponents' arguments. Firstly, our opponents said that local communities already have enough money for solving their problems. We are not agree with this because yes, it's right that local communities have money, but it's not so important because they have not opportunity to use this money solving their problem by their own. The second was that our country has just one main religion, Orthodox.
Can I ask a question? So, you said that local communities can't use the money they have. Can you give a certain example?
Okay, let me think.
When communities can't use the money they have.
For example, Jewish community, they have holiday and they need financial. Oh no, they need permission to celebrate their holiday, and it depends on our government. The second was about, as I said, the main the main religion, Orthodox. But we are not agree with this because, if you know, there are more than 400,000 Muslims live in our state, like an example of other religions. That's why we don't agree with this argument. And now I'd like to give a little bit support for our affirmative. Our first argument was a religion aspect, and let me a little bit strengthen our case. Our first argument was about religion, and we have already proved it that religion plays a very important role in up-to-date cosmopolitan countries, especially according to the process of globalization. My teammates proved that religious problems. Sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. To the second argument, please. The second argument was about cultural and traditional problem. Our second argument is solving cultural and traditional problems. Firstly, they need local communities need, as I said, to, for example, permission of government to celebrate their own holidays. As an example, I'm a student of Jewish school in our city with my teammates, and we see the system by our eyes. For example, this school needs money, for example, to celebrate their holiday, but they haven't enough, and they have different solving of this problem. Firstly, it's for example find sponsor. You know that all sponsors finding PRing of themselves, and it can be a good way to PR them. And to the next example is charity for raising money. For example, charity is widespread all over the world, And local community organize it not only for themselves, but for some collection money, also for other communities. So it's a bright example of friendship between different communities. And third argument is problems of assimilation and mentality. There is a really high level of globalization nowadays. Moreover, each mentality has its own habits, its own rules, and its own values. Why it's really important to save them? But how we can do it? They have wishes and local communities, and they have money, but they don't have opportunities. That's why they should have it, in our team opinion. In the conclusion, I would like to say that solving all these problems will save the self-determination of local communities. Thank you for your attention.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, I'm a third speaker of opposition team. And first of all, I want you to remember the theme of our game, of our conversation. We are talking about local communities. Local communities, first word is local. It means mistseva. So from words, it means that urban units, cities, villages, or some others. And also, I think that our opponents told us about religion. And it's not local community actually, it's organization. So I also want to tell you that we live in Ukraine, and Ukraine has freedom. You can believe whatever you want. You can be Christian, you can be Muslim or Jewish religion, it doesn't matter. Today we are going to find a solution or to find what is better. Should local communities decide their matters of their or their existence or not. So we should talk about cities, villages, about people. So local communities means citizens who gather together. Yes. What about Krylov Jewish community? Is it a community? It's organization. I think it's not my private. Sorry.
But it's called a community, not an organization.
It's not local community. Like, if we're talking about, it's about religion. Like, okay, if we're talking about religion, I can tell you a disadvantage of religion communities. It makes a gap. It makes a gap between people. Why should Jewish people be separated from Christians? Why? So I think that people should be united. Jewish should be with Christians, Muslim with Christians, because we want to live in peace. So that's why I think we should have organization. Yes, you're Jewish, you can be together, you can talk about, you can be family, you can be friends, but, sorry, I'll continue, just a minute. So why should we make separation between people? Yes?
So, don't you think that local community could be a group of people based on their religion, culture, and tradition who just live on the same territory? Don't you agree with the statement?
Like, pardon me, you mean like Jewish people in Krivy should be together, or what?
No, I mean, do you agree with the statement that local community is a group of people based on their religions, cultural traditions, similarities, who lives on the same territory?
Yes, I believe that local
Do you agree?
community...
Do you agree or not?
I can explain my point of view, yes. I believe that local community is people who live in a city or village, and they are united in one group, and they can solve the problems, and it doesn't matter. Like, if you think that if you are, for example, Muslim, and I'm Christian, and we can't be in the one local community, I think that we can be together. Local community is a question when we're trying to find solution that's when we're talking about city or village or something like this. Why should we separate Muslim from Christians? I'm talking about this. So I think we shouldn't make this gap. I think we should be united. I think we should be together, because this will, if we'll make these local communities, if our government will not protect, sorry, I forgot this word. Support, sorry. If our government will support, this will make a gap between people. So I think that in
country, Ukraine, will fall. So we are Ukrainian, it doesn't matter are we Muslim or Christians, we should be together. So thank you for your attention.
So, that's me, right? I'm the first speaker with the first speech of a negative team, and I want to go rapidly through our clashes and tell about every misunderstanding that appeared. And I want to start with our definition themselves. Well, our definition was a welfare to our society, right? And we tried to speak about Ukrainian society, our society. Yes, you're truly right that you tried to widen your functions, but it was a bit controversial. So, after that, we also had a misunderstanding in religion, even a clash. And it's the most important part of our conversation, right? Our third speaker mentioned that. Religion, dividing people in religion and dividing them in local communities also divides them in ordinary life. When we divide Muslims, Christians, etc. in groups, so even we divide them in local communities on governmental level, and we want them to be united while we unite them themselves. So that's why we think that local communities mustn't be with really widened functions. So they must just be a name. So we also think that the question of the local community that you was speaking about is too wide. We think that it's impossible to talk about local communities in a widely of the whole world, and we needed more examples. So, in each country, the situation is different. Also, as we said, we tried to focus on Ukraine, and we tried to focus on the situation in Ukraine, and as you saw, we have a lot of controversials because our opponents gave more examples about broad countries, while we were speaking about Ukraine. And moreover, we also said that Ukrainian local communities can also be united because of their politics and economical views, not only because of their religion, like in some other countries. Moreover, we all know that local communities in different countries can be the same as in Ukraine. For example, local authorities and local communities can be the same definition in different countries. So. Our team, I think that in our team we proved that in Ukraine it is really important not to widen the function of local communities too much. Also, our opponents mentioned that we had a controversial in our own team, right? When we said we must widen the function of communities and we must not. Yes, I said that according to the Constitution of Ukraine, the functions of communities must be widened. Yes, but it already must be done. The Constitution and the institution and the European Charter already exists. And that's why I said that the functions must be a bit widened. Yes, that's right. But after that, I said that people will be influenced the government. The government will lose its importance, and that's why we think that in our country, given local authorities or local communities too much functions, will lead to a crash of economics, because it will lead to inflation because people will rule the budget, people with no knowledge. So it's important to say that we are our local community, and we will decide how we should live. We can divide into groups for our politics views, others. It's our choice, and we must choose how to behave, but we must not do the functions that we don't know how to do. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, good evening again. I would like to go through our clashes. Okay, first of all, I would like to begin with our arguments and to discuss counter-arguments of our opponents. So firstly, we said that religion people should have some rights, but a big amount of benefits. And yes, they have wishes, they have money, and you have said that, so you just like give us the support. You said yes, they have money, they have sponsors, and I don't think that the government should give them more money. We don't want government to give them money. We want they give them rights. And so it is not necessary to give them something because they have already had it. They should just have some benefits. Secondly, about 1 minute. Yes, I also want to say that one of the speakers, actually, I don't remember which exactly, said that we have the main religious Christianity on the territory of our country, and our speakers, our team said that no, it isn't true. Unfortunately, we have Muslims, we have Jewish, maybe we have Buddhists and something like this, etc. And we don't say that they should be separated, as your third speaker said. No, of course we are united. We are the whole country, we are the whole city, we are the villages. But we just say about the rights. Why Christian people can live the work in the Easter and Jewish people can't live the work in the Hanukkah? Why? There are a lot of representatives of Jewish religion, and it isn't even known whose religion is bigger, Jewish or Christianity. And that is why we don't say about separating. Then thirdly, culture and traditions. It is a real pressure of mankind, and we have said about it. And nobody said that ethnic groups should propagate its own religious and culture. It just should have the opportunity to develop it. So in the constitution or in the law should just be the statement, yes, you can do it and we won't stop you. We will provide you with the conditions. It is the main point. Don't give us the money, just give us rights. And it's the main point of our debating. So I would like to sum up that, of course, I don't think that religion, culture, tradition may be the reason of real wars, conflicts. Of course, there are quite big, not big, but some exceptions from the rule. But nevertheless, belief and culture are two the most important pressures in our life, moral pressures. I think it is more important than money, government, politics. So thank you for your attention.
So formal was the end of our round, right?
Yes, yes.
We would like to ask the teams to
Go around.
Can
I interfere and have one mention, please? I'm the trainer of this. And I have one mention.